Jason Kitt. First.
Brought to you by letter T.
All right, how's everybody doing? All right, I got a pretty lengthy piece I'm going to get right into it. I know we got a lot of new people in here a lot of pledges here who are not familiar with a man by the name of Mr. Colonel Jethro Patterson. Y'all remember Colonel? All right. So, I'm going to fill you in real quick on who Colonel Jethro Patterson is. My father grew up in Prattville, Alabama, and he grew up in the county country. And he worked for this man by the name of Colonel Jethro Patterson. Every time I would ask him for money, he would tell us about, well, Jethro didn't pay me none, so I asked for money. Anyway, Colonel Jethro and his wife Guerrilla had 5 children together. Their names were Jethro Jr., who they called Junie, Willie Ray, Willie Lee, Willie Mae, and Willie Ling. His 4 youngest kids were all named Willie after his army buddy, whom was lost during Kitt patrol in World War II, after one of the grenades got mixed in with the potatoes. Anyways, in case you haven't figured it out, Willie Ling was adopted. She was rescued by Colonel when he was serving in Korea. There was a strike on the village and she was the lone survivor. You know, the Colonel got kind of sentimental with the child. He didn't want to give her up, so he took her in as his own, took her back to Alabama. She was the only Asian American probably in the whole county, if not the whole state. Anyhow, the Colonel's kids all slept 2 to a bed. You had Junie and Willie Ray, they slept together. And then of course the 2 girls shared the bed. And Willie Lee peed the bed, so he slept downstairs with Bubba McPherson. Y'all remember Bubba McPherson, right? Yeah. Right. All right. Well, anyway, I'm gonna touch base for a minute on the kids. You know, these were all farm kids, and Jethro he ran a real tight household, being the dominant one all those years in the military, and then being the owner of all this land. He made sure his kids were in line. He made sure other people's kids were in line. Because they say, you know, if you don't beat your child's ass, Colonel Jethro will. But anyway, Willie Ling was the one that gave the Colonel the least amount of trouble. But at one point, she did give him some trouble, and I'm going to tell y'all the story about how that happened. It was the summer of 1959. Willie Lee and Old Blue, that was Jethro's dog. Y'all remember Old Blue? He rescued Bubba McPherson from the Klan. Well, anyways, Willie Lee and Old Blue were out in the field playing, and Willie Lee just happened to stumble upon a small little snake. It wasn't a harmless snake. It was like one of those little yellow snakes that didn't really do much harm if bitten. But nonetheless, the Colonel did not like snakes. And mind you, this was a guy who came toe-to-toe with Hitler in World War II and other dangerous Nazi Germans and Koreans who were a lot more harmful than a teeny-weeny snake. But that was his phobia anyway, so. Anyways, she noticed that the snake was yellow. And you know, like I said before, Willie Ling is like the only Asian in the whole county, so anything yellow she liked. And she really liked that snake and wanted to keep it as a pet. So she tried to keep it under wraps and make sure her daddy didn't find out about it, because if you did wrong, you don't want to mess with Colonel Guerrilla. You, especially his kids. He gave his kids the worst. But anyway, she managed to keep the snake hidden, and she would take it up to her bedroom and she played with the little snake, wore it around her arm, just like the girls in the movies with the out in the desert, you know, all that stuff. Well, in the middle of the night, when Willie Ling and Willie Mae were asleep and everybody else was asleep, the snake got loose. And the next day, this was Sunday morning, and on Sunday morning, everybody went to church. And so they were all getting dressed, getting ready to go. And Colonel Jethro went to look for a tie. And he had on a real nice suit. He had on a yellow suit and a black shirt. And Jethro was clean. So he wanted to make sure he had on a yellow tie. So he took what he thought was a yellow tie, started to wrap it around his neck, and then when he saw it was a snake, he was like, ah! And he was like, who the fuck brought this snake in the house? I done told you, I don't like none of them snakes, man. I'd rather see Hitler again than deal with one of them stupid snakes. So, naturally, he figured one of his children had done it, so he called all 5 of his children downstairs to the den, had them all lined up. And he said, all right now, which one of you heathens done bought this snake in the house? And don't y'all lie to me now. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something that the kids would do whenever one of them got in trouble. They would always blame it on old Blue. Every time they did something wrong, they blame it on old Blue. Colonel would ask, well, who broke the vase? Well, old Blue did it, Daddy. Who ate the big piece of chicken? Old Blue did it, Daddy. Who took my car out last night? Old Blue did it, Daddy. You know, old Blue loved that dog more than he loved them, so. So anyway, he asked Willie Ling, he said, hey, Willie Ling, now I'm going to ask you one time, did you bring that snake in the house? And Willie Ling said, well, old Blue did it, Daddy. And this kind of caught the Colonel off guard a little bit, because Willie Ling never lied. It's like she was the youngest, but she feared Jethro the most. She gave him the most respect out of all of them. So, and naturally, being as close the Colonel was to the old Blue, he had to ask, get it from the source. So we went to old Blue and said, old Blue, come here. Come here, old Blue. They said, old Blue, did you bring that snake in the house? Old Blue said, oh. And Jethro said, what? And old Blue was, oh. So you didn't bring the snake in the house. And then Junior was off to the side looking at all this and like, man, they're talking to that stupid ass dog again. And then Jethro shot back and said, I heard that, boy. Yes, sir, now you won't be next. You make one more smart ass remark. So he went back to the old Blue and said, old Blue, who wants the nigga in the house? He goes, he said, Willie Ling wants the nigga in the house. It was like, really? It's like, you can't be talking about my Willie Ling, right? And then the dog looked at Jethro with this look upon his face like, who the hell else do you think I'm talking about, old man? Ain't you the 2 agents in the whole state of Alabama, and one of them is legally your daughter? And you gonna ask me which Willie Ling you talking about? Devereaux looked at Willie Ling and said, now, you know, you done lied to me. And you know what happens when you lie. And Willie Ling just stood there, tears started welling up in her eyes. But she knew she was going to get it. Devereaux was about to get his mama's belt. And Willie Ling's behind something else. But being the close-knit family that the Pattersons were, Willie Ray stood up and took the rap for his youngest sister. He said, Daddy, Willie Ling had nothing to do with it. I bought the snake in the house. I bought the snake in the house as revenge because you wouldn't let me get my hair straightened last week. He said, that true, boy? He said, yeah. So, end of the story is, Willie Ling got off scot-free, and Willie Ray got the first ass whooping of his life. The end.